In this lecture, we look at the logic that is used by the Coq proof assistant. We look at this principle of propositions as type and generally describe how the underlying functional programming gives us a means of reasoning about mathematical statements. Okay, so let's go back to two things that we saw. Okay, two vernacular commands that we saw. We saw a way to define things, like we could define, for example, foo type nat to be 2, for example. We also saw a way to prove theorems, and how did it look like? You said theorem, name of the theorem, colon, what is it that you want to prove, which is 2 equal to 2 in this case, and then we put a dot which said that okay, we are now starting the proof. And this theorem is trivial, so you could just use a tactic called trivial and get rid of it. Okay. The point is that it looked like there are two kind of things here. One is defining objects, and second is proving theorems. But the truth is, you can interchange these two things. I mean, there is nothing that prevents you from using a definition instead of a theorem and a theorem instead of a definition. Mostly, okay. There is some small difference between these two things, but we can explain it later. For example, I can get the same effect of these two things by this theorem. I use a definition to do it. So I define a new name though, but you could give this name if this was not defined. So definition 2 is 2p, another name for it, of type 2 equal to 2. So 2 equal to 2 is a type. Okay. The statement, mathematical statement 2 equal to 2 is a type. And how do I prove it? I prove by giving a definition of an object of that type. In this case, it is EQREFL. Similarly, I can use the theorem to give a definition of foo. So I go about saying foo theorem foo p, colon, the thing I want to show is nat. So the mathematical statement and types have been interchanged here. And then there is this tactic called exact. So what does it do? Exact 2 will fill in the term 2 for foo p. So this is the same. Okay. So let's just have a look at it in the mode. So here is the definition. Okay, so you can see foo nat equal 2. Here is the theorem, trivial. Okay, and here is another way of doing the theorem. There is another way of defining foo, exact 2. In fact, if you look at this particular state, you can do a show proof, which shows you the proof that you have done so far. So you see, the show proof is a term, EQREFL, which is exactly what I have filled in here. So these two things, these two aspects, proving and programming, is the same. So this principle is known as the propositions, mathematical propositions as types principle. Okay. So just to specialize it for this case, just like nat, the term 2 equal to 2 is a type. Okay. So a mathematical statement like 2 equal to 2 is a type, just like nat. Okay. And to prove this statement 2 equal to 2, I produce an element of type 2 equal to 2. Okay. Just like I define and just like I say foo of type nat, I define foo of type nat by giving a nat element. Similarly, I can prove the statement 2 equal to 2 by giving a witness, which is a term, in this case EQREFL. EQREFL is a term of that type, and this witnesses the fact for you that 2 is actually 2. Statements about mathematics or the real world are in general predicates. Okay, what do we mean by that? Let's take an example. Say we fix a set A. Okay. Say for example the set of natural numbers. A predicate P on A is something which assigns for each A proposition P of A. Okay. So for every proposition for every element A in the set, you have a proposition PA. Okay? Let's take an example. Let's say Pn is the proposition n equal to 42. Okay. Now the truth of this proposition depends on what value of n you put in. Okay. P0, for example, is the proposition 0 equal to 42. P1 is a proposition which is a different proposition. It says 1 equal to 42, etc., etc. Some of them might be false, some of them might be true. How do we capture this in the type world? So, the role played by a set A is played by a type A. Like in our case, if you want to think of natural numbers, the type that we are interested in is NAT. Okay, and a proposition should do what? Okay, for each element in the type, it should give you another type, because remember, a particular proposition is a type. Okay, so a proposition is captured by what is known as a type family. That is, a function P from A to the universe of all types. Okay, there is no such thing, but let's take for that case. Okay, so a proposition, a predicate on A corresponds to a type family, which is nothing but a function from A to type. Okay, so for example, if you look at the previous proposition that we talk about, we can consider P as a function from NAT to type, and it is defined as for all n. So it sorry, not for all n. It's a function which takes n to the type n equal to 42. Recall that 2 equal to 3, 2 equal to 2, these are all types. Okay. Similarly, n equal to 42 is a type. Okay. So the function that takes n to n equal to 42, n equal to 42 is a type. It's not a Boolean value, it's a type. Okay. Such a thing is called a type family, and this plays the role of propositions in mathematics. Okay. Now, if you look at P0, P0 is a type, P1 is another type. It will not be P0. P0 is a type, 0 equal to 42. P1 is a type, 1 equal to 42. Okay, etc., etc. Okay. That is what predicates corresponds to in the type. We now define what is known as dependent functions. Okay, so fix a type A and a type family P on A, which means that we have a function from A to type, which we call P. Okay, a dependent function, as opposed to an ordinary function, takes as input a type, an element A of A. Okay, from A you take an element. It gives an element B of P of A. Okay, so the type, the output type depends on the input value. Okay, the output type is, the range is not always fixed. It depends on the value that you assign for the input. Okay, such a function is called a dependent function. Okay, and the type of all such functions. Okay, the type of all functions, dependent functions from A to P of A. Okay, is given by this type for all A P of A. Okay, so for all A P of A is a type of dependent functions. Okay, from given by the type family P. Okay, so recall the output's type actually depends on the input. It is not fixed throughout. Okay, now this dependent functions actually generalize ordinary functions. For example, if P is a constant type family, for example, let's say there is a type B such that P of A is always B. Okay, then if you look at it, for all A, P of A means that for each element A is mapped to P of A, which is B. So which is same as saying that for all A, P of A is just the A arrow B, ordinary functions from A to B. Okay, so for all A, P of A is actually the type of dependent functions, not a dependent function, but the type of dependent functions. When we have a predicate P on A, we can talk about the mathematical statement for all A P of A. Okay, for all A P of A is true if P of A is true for any A that you take in. Okay, so this is a statement that you see. Like for example, for all natural number, okay, n is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, this is a statement that is true. Okay, it is true for all natural numbers. Okay. For all natural numbers, n is greater than 42 is is also a statement, but it's false. Okay. So what it means is that as the name suggests, the dependent functions actually prove for us a statement like for all a p of a. Let's see the connection. So a set A is captured by a type A. Type also captures proposition, but that's a different matter. A predicate P on A is a type family. Okay, A2 type. Now the mathematical statement for all A P of A corresponds to the type for all A P of A. Okay, this makes sense. Why is this the thing? Now suppose I want to prove to you a claim that for all A the predicate P of A is true. Suppose I want to prove that claim. What do? I produce for you a dependent function of this type for all A P of A. Okay. Why is this a proof? Imagine what it does. Okay. You give me any A in the type A. Okay. F of A would be of type what? P of A, which means F of A is a proof of. So if you have a function of this kind, you will see that F of A is a proof of is in P of A, which by intuition, by the connection that we have, F of A is a F of A is a proof. It's a proof of P of A. Okay. So the existence of such a function means that for all A, I can map it to the proof or the witness of P of A. Okay. This function gives you the witness for each A. So in that sense, this type for all A P of A is captures this mathematical statement or logical statement, and elements, the dependent functions are actually proofs of the mathematical statement for all A in a P of A. To illustrate this point, let's look at the theorem left identity of n. So this is a predicate. Left identity of n is the statement 0 plus n is n. Okay. So notice that left identity n is a type. Okay. Not left identity. Left identity is a function that maps n to type. So let's just check this out. Check left identity. Okay, so it is a function from NAT to prop. Think of prop as type. Okay, as of now, we will see the difference between prop and type, but here just treat this as type. Okay, so left identity is a predicate on natural numbers. Okay, and now I want to prove to you the claim that for all n, left identity of n is true. Okay, and how do? I have to give you a function which given n gives me the proof of left identity of n. It turns out that this function is fn eq ref ln. So let's just compile this and let's check proof of left id. You will see that the proof of left id is of type this. That means that it witnesses the fact that for all n, left identity of n is true. We conclude by looking at a rather nonsensical definition here of type family. Look at this type family Tn. Okay, so Tn is defined. So a type family means it takes n and gives a type, and in this case it's NAT. Yeah, and it is defined as follows. Match of n. If n is 0, then it is NAT. If n is 1, it is bool. If anything else, it is NAT star bool. Okay, you can see that T is a type family from NAT to type, and for example, you can see that T42 is NAT star bool. Now to give an element in for all n Tn, the dependent function, let's look at this thing. Again, it's a nonsensical definition, it's just for illustration. So it is a function that maps n to, if n is 0, then the element it should give here is T of 0, which is NAT. So you give 42. If n is 1, the element that you should give is T of 1, which is bool, which is false. and if n is something else, so which you match it m, you have to give nat star bool. In our case, we give it as m comma 2 just to indicate what is happening. So this compiles. Okay, you can check the type of all nt, it is of the expected type, and you can probably say evaluate it all nt. So this illustrates the use of dependent types for programming.